Hi, I want to relate to you about prayer and how the answer to your prayer might not come about tomorrow or a month from now, but my prayer was for Bill, and Bill and I had had contact for 20 to 25 years. Bill was a forester in the agency I worked for, and he was a scientist, and he didn't believe in Jesus, and so part of my job was to teach first aid and all that, and so I taught Bill and this team of foresters for years first aid. And he always asked about how I treated people and this and that. And I said, well, I always prayed for the people I was treating. And he said, well, did that take away from your ability to treat the person and blah, blah, blah. And I said, Bill, God was using my hands to help these people. And so through the years, we'd have this little ongoing discussion. It wasn't an argument, it was just this discussion. And I told him year after year, I'd pray for you, Bill. And then one day he was out on a big fire and he was in a helicopter and it crashed. And he was hanging upside down and broke his back. And then through his recovery, I'd be talking to him and I said, Bill, how did it go about? How did you feel? And he says, well, part of his answer was, I felt this presence. Here I am hanging upside down in this crashed helicopter, jet fuel pouring all over me, and I just felt this presence and I felt this calmness. And I said, Bill, that was Jesus sitting there with you, you know, waiting to have folks come rescue you. So they rescued him and everybody survived. And during his recovery, we talked some more about his presence that he felt. And he kept poo-pooing it off. And I retired and then he retired. And then years later, about 5 months ago, he contacted me out of the blue and said, hey, how's it going? Blah, 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 small talk. And he says, oh, by the way, I've got this massively growing brain tumor cancerous thing in my head, and I'm going in for surgery in 2 days. And so the surgery went well. They went in, took the tumor out, took part of his brain out. He had trouble communicating verbally after that, so we texted a lot. And after a while, he was recovering miraculously and walking a mile, 2 miles a day. And then one day he started his chemo, and it affected him, and he fell a couple of times in one day and hit his head. And started going downhill rapidly after that. And his texts started talking about, his future and this and that, and very philosophical about science and all this. And then another text, he said, hey, I'm tired of this chemo. I've fired my doctor. I've quit the chemo, and I'm just ready to go. And a couple of days after that, he texted me and said, hey, it won't be long, and I'm ready to meet Jesus. How could you celebrate enough of that to where your prayers have been answered? 2 days after that, he passed away, and I had a hard time that night. But I woke up the next morning celebrating the fact that my prayers have been answered. And I'm going to get to see Bill again, this time with Jesus. And don't quit praying. Don't give up on somebody. No matter how long it takes. Jesus answers prayers. He's real. He walks among us, and I love him.